In the capital of the kingdom there was a man who was, at the same time, the king's greatest asset and his greatest burden, Silas, the royal cartographer. Silas wasn't just a cartographer, he was an artist, a botanist, a geologist, and, in his own mind, a guardian of absolute truth. In his studio, hanging on the wall, was his magnus opus, his masterpiece. It was a map of the world, but to Silas, it wasn't yet. He had been working on it for 20 years. His assistants had grown old and left. New lands were discovered and colonized before Silas could even grind the perfect pigment to represent their sand. Silas's problem wasn't laziness. It was a paralyzing perfectionism. He would spend days agonizing over the curve of a single river. If I draw this bend 1 millimeter to the east, he would mutter to himself at night, a caravan might get lost. A child might go without water. The blood will be on my hands. His perfectionism wasn't vanity. It was fear. Fear that anything less than divine perfection was a lie, and that a lie on a map was murder. And so, the most beautiful map in the world remained the most useless. Then, the Great Famine began. A blight struck the eastern crops. The people were starving. Bread became a luxury. But there was hope. Explorers returned, speaking of a place to the west, beyond the uncharted mountains, the verdant valley, a place untouched by the blight, fertile, with wide rivers, the kingdom's salvation. The king went to Silas. He did not look impressed by the gold pigments. Silas, the king said, his voice hoarse, my people are dying. We need the path to the verdant valley. You are the only one who can chart the safe route. Your map, is it ready? Silas looked at the vast whiteness where the valley was supposed to be. He felt panic close his throat. Majesty, he stammered, I haven't yet verified the migration patterns of the birds. They indicate the wind currents, and the mountain flowers. Their color indicates the soil's acidity, which affects the drinking water. I need time to do it right. The king stared at Silas for a long moment. The disappointment in his eyes was sharper than a sword. You don't have time, the king said. You have 3 days. The pressure did not free him. It paralyzed him. Every line he drew felt like an insult. This is too thick. This is imprecise. He tore the parchment and started again and again. With every attempt, the voice in his head grew louder. It's not perfect. You'll kill everyone. You're a fraud. On the second day, a young explorer named Mia burst into his studio. She didn't use fine pigments. She had charcoal and soot on her fingers. She threw a dirty, crumpled piece of leather onto Silas's table. What is this? Silas spat, disgusted. The way, Mia said out of breath. I've seen it. The valley is real. Silas picked up the map. This is an insult. Where is the scale? The legend? Is this a mountain or a mud stain? Mia stepped forward, her voice low and furious. This, she said, pointing to a smudge, is where the river is shallow enough to cross with wagons, and this, pointing to a crude X, is where the wind is so strong it blows out torches. It isn't pretty, cartographer, but it's true. Silas looked at Mia's ugly map, and then he looked at his perfect, incomplete map. The realization hit him. He wasn't building a map. He was building a monument to himself. He was so obsessed with being the best cartographer that he had forgotten his job, to guide people. My map, Silas whispered, touching his pristine parchment, is a beautiful lie. Yours, he looked at the dirty leather, is salvation. He looked at Mia. I can't finish mine in time. Not perfectly. Mia smiled, a tired smile. We don't need perfect. We need now. We need good enough. And then Silas did the unthinkable. Using the precision of his own map and the good enough information from Mia's, he charted the route. It didn't have the color of the flowers. It didn't have the migration patterns of the birds. It just had a line, a thick, black charcoal line that went from hunger to hope. He finished it in 30 minutes. He handed the map to the king the next morning. It's not perfect, Majesty, Silas said, but it's enough. The caravans left that day, and the kingdom was saved. This parable of Silas and Mia is the story that lives inside every one of us. Many of us are Silas. We're sitting in our studio, polishing our perfect map for 20 years. That map is the book you've never finished writing because you're stuck on the first chapter. It's the business you never launched because the logo still isn't right. It's the diet you never started because you were waiting for the perfect Monday. Perfectionism is not about having high standards. That's excellence. Perfectionism is fear disguised as virtue. It's procrastination dressed up as quality. It is, like Silas, the deep-seated fear that if what we do isn't flawless, then we aren't flawless. We wait and polish and optimize while life, the famine, the opportunity, the joy, passes us by. But then there is Mia's lesson, the good enough. Good enough is not mediocrity. It's not laziness. Good enough is the courage to trade imaginary perfection for real-world execution. It's the ugly map that saves lives. It's version 1.0. It's the draft that gets sent. It's hitting play on the video. Good enough is what gets you in motion. It's what allows for feedback. It's what builds momentum. You cannot improve a map that is blank. You can only improve a map that has been drawn, even if it's with charcoal. Your life is not a museum to be admired. It's a laboratory to be lived. So I want to ask you, what is your perfect map that is keeping you paralyzed? Comment below. What is the one thing, the one project that you will stop perfecting and just finish this week? What is your good enough? Let's declare our action in the comments. If this story of Silas and Mia resonated with you, and if you're ready to trade your gold pigment for a piece of charcoal and begin, please like this video. Share this video with someone you know who has incredible talent but is trapped by perfectionism. Someone who needs to hear that good enough is the new perfect. And for more impactful stories like this that help us unlock our potential, subscribe to the channel. Remember, the world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your contribution. Stop polishing. Start drawing. Go. Deliver your map.